Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today on Comics from the Future. We are super excited for today's show and thank you for joining us. In case you don't know, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with infinityfluxcomics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yes, this is the show we do every single Friday where we're going to preview super cool new series, cool variant covers, and other things we don't want you to miss so you can add them to your pull list, let your comic shop know what you want, what's good, all that good stuff. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to our channel. We just hit 1,800 subscribers. We're super close to 2K, so please take a second to subscribe to our channel and then go take a second. Also, go find us on Instagram, whatnot, and everywhere else in the world that social media is. So, let's get rolling.
All right, so we're going to begin with our featured comics this week, starting with The Midnight Suns Are Back. But they look a little bit different. Like the team lineup, that's not the one I quite know. A few of the members are. So yeah, Midnight Suns has been in the comic news a lot lately. It's been thrown around that it's going to get picked up, optioned, turned into something. Well, I say a comic miniseries coming about them pretty much means that's going to happen. Andy and I have been tracking. You can pretty much guess what Marvel's going to do if you watch the comics close enough. So this new team, as you can see from the cover, it's got Wolverine and Ghost Rider and Blade, all past members of the Midnight Suns. But now we also have Magic. It's also going to include Nico Minoru, who is a character from Strange Academy lately, but Nico's actually from the Runaways. So she's like a magic user type. So in this, a new threat has reared its ugly head, and a new Midnight Suns must form to take it down. Not a whole lot more on what that is. But it does have something to do with the Sorcerer Supreme's past. So I'm guessing they mean Doctor Strange, who might still be dead at this point. I don't know. So last thing I'll say is there is another team member I forgot. Spirit Rider is in this, which is pretty cool. We haven't seen a lot of Spirit Rider. So new 5-issue miniseries with a new Midnight Suns team. I'm pumped for that for sure. So this is the main cover. Here is coming up the game cover.
Yeah, because there is the new game coming out for Midnight Suns.
Right, right. And here is the VICENTINI cover.
And next up is a big one. This is Harley Quinn's 30th anniversary. And she's still considered a new character, which is funny. But she's been around for 30 years, so she's definitely going to have to celebrate that in this oversized one-shot. It's going to be $9.99, but it is written by Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, Paul Dini, Sejic, Sam Humphries. Basically, if you've worked on Harley Quinn in the past, you're going to be doing a little bit in this, along with some of the artists. So, you know, this is going to be a bunch of little short stories. I think it's kind of bookended by a story, but we're revisiting a lot of previous Harley Quinn ongoings and miniseries, including like the run with Terry Dodson and Paul Dini. We're getting a new Harleen story from like the Black Label Harleen. Some Suicide Squad, a whole bunch. So if you have a favorite time for Harley Quinn, it's probably brought up in this. Really cool. I got to skim through the whole thing. It looks like a lot of fun. So I'm very excited about this, but you know, because it's anniversary, there's going to be a lot of covers for it.
Is there a Roller Girl story?
I believe so.
I mean, they'd be remiss if they messed that.
So we have the J. Scott Campbell. We have the Art Germ. We have the Opeña. The Bruce Timm.
Simple, but really good.
Yeah. He doesn't have to impress you. He's like, I made the character.
Yeah.
Here you go.
There you go.
We've got the Terry and Rachel Dodson. We've got the Bermejo. We've got the Sejic. We've got the Adam Hughes, which is really fun. There's a lot of little things going on. And the Frank Cho.
Wow, it's going to be hard to pick one or two covers from those.
Yeah, they spared no expense.
Okay, this is Stuff of Nightmares from Boom Studios, but more importantly, this is from the legendary R.L. Stine. He is going to be the writer and creator on this. This is actually his first creator-owned series, since it's from Boom, and it's his first series for grown-ups. Of course, many of us remember R.L. Stein from our kids. He was basically like the Rod Serling of horror stuff for kids. An iconic man in and of himself.
It's a great reference that goes even further back.
So this first story is going to be, it seems like sort of a Frankenstein twist. So we will see what that's all about. But it's got art from Al Kaplan, who worked on Jim Henson's Storyteller, and just in time for October to roll around is when this is coming out into September. So going to be 4-part series once again with a ton of different covers. So let's dig into this. This is the Francavilla A cover, the Jacobus cover B, the glow-in-the-dark Francavilla variant. That's sure to be, if that's not $1 or $2 more expensive, I will be surprised. Then we have the glow-in-the-dark Jacobus one. So this is kind of like how they do with Berserker with the foil versions. Mm-hmm. There's the regular variant and then a glow-in-the-dark one. We have a blank sketch, the Mercado, sort of like a throwback to the books.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
The FOC Reveal by Nguyen. And then the BG Hots variant.
It's a horrifying one. I get like a Hellraiser vibe from that.
That's what I was thinking, yeah, especially the character's neck and all that.
It's a lot to choose from here, but I think this will be a definite read.
All right, from CEX Comics is Saga of a Doomed Universe. So this was originally a series running on Comixology, but the creators have decided, hey, let's go to print, because print is awesome. And so this series is now going to print. So from what I read, I think this is new, though. Like, I don't think they're just reprinting the stuff from Comixology. I think this is new stuff. And so it follows a character whose name is Roy Brannon, who's kind of like a loser in his world, but he gets a chance to have the power of a superhero and try to defend the world. It's sort of like his shot to show everyone he's not really a loser. And so I'm assuming that's maybe him on the front. I don't know for sure.
Looks like he's losing.
Maybe. So that is generally what the premise of Saga of a Doomed Universe is. And if you've heard of it before, it might be because of the Comixology link. But now in print for the first time ever as a series. So we got a bunch of covers on this. A through F covers, all done by Scott Reed, the artist. So here's the B cover.
They went all in with the homages in this.
So Secret Wars. Here is the C cover, Watchmen. Here is the D cover, the Marvel border for the anniversary. Here is the E cover, which is what is that? That's like the guide to the Marvel universe. And then the F cover.
Well, that's wraparound.
It's a wraparound. So that's a wraparound to the E. And then here's the F cover. That's the other.
That's the DC.
The DC Who's Who. And the wraparound for that.
Okay, next up is a fun one-shot to go along with your Dark Knights of Steel. This is Dark Knights of Steel, Tales from the Three Kingdoms one-shot. And this is just kind of give you more backstory on all of the characters. It shows them as little kids on all these covers, but I looked through it and there's no stories where they're like little kids.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, is this the Muppet Baby version? Of
you would think,
Dark
especially if you see the next cover. But no, I think it's just kind of to show you this is their history and past adventures they've been on. This is introducing a lot of new characters to this universe, including Bane, which is really cool to see with the Dark Knights of Steel version of Bane, and maybe some future sidekicks of Batman. Also a story you find out why he's called Batman in this universe, which is super cool and epic. So if you enjoyed Dark Knights of Steel, you'll want to pick this one up. It's a great companion book to those. This is our A cover. We have our Dan Mora variant with Little Batman.
I think that might be the only cover. So you said Bane's in it. I picture that he looks like Black Adder from the Golden Axe games.
It's definitely kind of a Black Knight vibe to him for sure.
All right, next up is another spooky book. We have Shock Shop. This is from Cullen Bunn, Horror Master, with art by Danny Ookert. Oop. Anyway, Shock Shop. So the title with this is it takes place in a comic book store, or at least our curator of creepy tales is a comic book retailer. So that is our crypt keeper type person in this. It is going to be a flip book. So that means there are two different stories in here. There'll be one in the front. You flip it over, and there's a completely different story with a different artist as well. So two stories in one. Flip book style, very interesting. Cullen Bunn said he wanted to create something that's visceral, just actually use the comic book medium in an interesting way, and that's a very interesting way to do it. So our first two tales in this are going to be a camping trip gone awry, and the second one is a divorced dad moving into a haunted house. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and once again,
insult to injury.
Yeah, salt on the wound. So yeah, this will be just in time for Halloween again. Just two covers this time. This is the A cover by Lukert, and this is the Francavilla and Moon variant.
All right, so those were our featured comics, but did you know there are even other number ones?
There's a lot more.
We're going to begin with what is a one-shot. It is Ms. Marvel and Venom. So this is actually the third in a series of one-shots. The first one was Ms. Marvel and Wolverine. That just released the past week. There's Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight, which is coming up soon. Orders have already passed for that. And so this is the third part where Ms. Marvel has to team up with these characters for some reason. I know a little bit about it because I read the first one with Wolverine, and there's somebody who's using mechanical bugs to sort of like get evidence or DNA evidence on superheroes. It's not good. Whatever they're doing is not good. And so if you wanted all of these, you're going to have to ask your store because it's not like an issue 1, 2, and 3. It's issue 1, 1, and 1. But I assure you they are linked. So here's the main cover. Here is the Momoko cover. And here is the Simonson variant.
It's definitely not a team up you would immediately think about.
No, but Venom and her work, they can shift their body parts all different sizes and have
like,
real big high fives.
I was about to say giant hand high fives.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is a really interesting one. This is Batman Night Watch. This is going to be a 5-part miniseries, and I believe this was either a Batman Day or Free Comic Book Day book previously, just kind of a sampler. But in this 5-part series, we see where a bunch of criminals have escaped Arkham, and to track them down, Batman and his family are using social media as people post pictures and updates about the villains. They can track them across the city, but they decide, as a Bat family, maybe we need our own social media center where people can go on and give us updates and everything that come right to us. So it's a really interesting idea for a series, but that group of people who give them all the stuff is called Night Watch. So, like I said, 5-issue miniseries. This first one, they're going to go up against Clayface, and it's just one cover.
All right.
Next up is Crashing. This is from IDW, written by Matthew Klein, by art by Morgan Beam. This is about our main character, Rose, who works at a hospital that has a ban on no-powered patients, is what they're calling it. So we do not deal with, that's a specialty they don't want to deal with. Unfortunately, our main character, that is their specialty. So, and I thought it was interesting, the powered people, that's heroes and villains. So I think our main character is going to find themselves caught in between some different communities in that way, and what will they do as they have to deal with their own struggles. So Crashing is the ER name there. So a couple covers here. That's A. Then we have the Corona cover B, and then the Kangas cover C. Lots of pill imagery.
All right, as the movie approaches, there is more Black Adam comics. Of course, these one-shots are more focused on some of the other characters you might see in the movie who people don't know quite as much. So this is Black Adam, the Justice Society Files Atom Smasher one-shot. This follows they had the one on Hawkgirl, they had the one on Cyclone. So this one is on Atom Smasher. Hopefully it'll just give everyone a refresher as to who the character is, and maybe what to expect a little bit from them in the upcoming film. So this is the main cover, and then there is also this variant cover as well.
And next up is Sergeant Werewolf. This is
ready to salute.
This is such a cool concept. So this follows Sergeant Steve Hovatter. He leads a team of soldiers into a German castle. This is all just like Wolfenstein, from what I can pick up.
Sounds like.
German castle with Nazi occult operations going on, and so Hovatter gets killed, but awakens a few hours later as a werewolf, and he's gonna have to go in and try to get his teammates back, all the while trying to stop the Nazis because they are trying to invoke Thor, the god of thunder, to help them on their mission. So, I mean, just sounds like over the top craziness, but a lot of fun too. So, and it's just the one cover.
All right, next up is Boogeyman. This is from Ablaze, written by Matthew Salvia and with art by Dijet. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So this is about a world where real life boogeymen exist. Boogeymen exist. They have their own rules of being and their own rules they must follow. Basically, our main character has his parents murdered by one of these boogeymen, but they're not all bad. So one called Father Death decides that he will protect Elliot, it's our main character's name, and help him fulfill his own destiny. So yet another spooky book for you coming up. This one from Ablaze. Sounds pretty interesting. So, even though it sounds like a lot of scary stuff going on, I still got young adult vibes from it, but I don't know. So the first cover is from our main artist. Cover B is from Gomez. Cover C is Rubine. And then this is the Nieto homage cover. Is this a Moon Devil Dinosaur homage?
No, that's an early Marvel like horror books. You know, some of the horror titles.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, so you were talking about how you get young adult vibes. I mean, Boogeyman is a young adult thing. Like when you say that, it's like I'm afraid of the Boogeyman. That's not really used.
True.
You don't picture somebody like who's like R-rated there. But okay, so next up is Turbo Kid Skeletron Unleashed one shot. So how many of you seen Turbo Kid? It is a pretty awesome movie. I mean, if the title appeals to you, you're probably going to like it. It's playing on Amazon Prime, so if you got Amazon Prime, you can check it out. Well, there's going to be a sequel to the movie. There's going to be a video game that's coming out about the movie. And before all that, the same creators have written this comic and storyboarded it, which is the origin story to Skeletron, who is in the original movie, pretty important character. So anyone who likes Turbo Kid, I would check this out. And if this is your first time hearing about it and you have Amazon Prime, go watch it. It's a really awesome, action-packed indie movie. So this is our B cover. The artist's name is Dion. And then here is the Satina movie poster variant for Turbo Kid Skeletron.
Hey, next up is a new book from Dynamite. This is The Ninjets. They've existed before through various different series, but they are college students forced to become deadly expendable assassins. And so we are going to follow why these certain girls get picked up to be these assassins, who are they hunting, all of that. This is from Fred Van Lint, and the art is by Joseph Cooper. And this is our Lyrics A cover. Then we have the B cover and the C cover.
Oh man, ninjas on a motorcycle. It doesn't get cooler than that. I have a t-shirt with that I wear sometimes.
All right, so this is Antioch #1, and this is from Image. It's from the same creators of Frontiersman. So this is basically picking up where the previous Frontiersman left off, which was a surprise hit around here. So it's from Image. So if you were getting that series, of course, they're really good about filling you in on what happened before, or you can pick up a trade paperback of Frontiersman. But yeah, this might, I don't see any Frontiersman heading, so you may miss this, but we have a couple different covers for you. This is the Ferriari cover A and the Stokely cover B.
All right, so Transformers is doing a best of Starscream. You knew they had to do a Starscream one eventually. I mean, he's the villain that you love to hate with the great voice that you love to hear. So yeah, for $6.99 you can get some of the best Starscream stories all reprinted and bound together in one big, thick, extra big comic with a great cover. Starscream, what's that look he's given? Like where the mouth isn't straight.
That's
It's
smug.
just
Yeah.
that's it. Exactly. His smug face on the cover. So next up, we're going to get to cool covers and other comics. This is going to be variants that we think you might want to know about, and issue number 2s and 3s of new series that we want to remind you might want to sign up for.
Starting with Predator number 2. So Predator number 1 just came out this week, and it was awesome. Start off for a great new series following Theta, a girl whose family was killed by a predator, and now she's going to hunt them down. In the first issue, she crash lands on a planet and must traverse this tundra to get to the civilization there, all the while she's being hunted by a predator. So make sure to add this series to your subscription before it gets away from you.
It will get away.
Yes. And then we have our Bustos B cover.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever stores you guys shop at, this sold like crazy at our store.
I mean, the timing could not have been better with the film.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Then we have Daredevil number 3. For those of you following the Daredevil series, another series that keeps running out off the shelf. All these Marvel series do, so they're doing a great job. So this is cover A. And then we have the Sequera promo variant.
I like on the cover A. I mean, it's like marionetting Daredevil with blood.
It's really messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, this is Amazing Spider-Man number 9. Yes, This is the main cover, and Spidey and Wolverine are going to team up in this issue. It's also a Hellfire Gala tie-in, so I wonder if it's going to start there or end there, because
they jumped away in Hellfire Gala to follow something,
okay.
And then it said like to be continued in Amazing Spider-Man number 9. So this is that story, which I think is really cool.
So I guess Wolverine had time to change according to this cover, because that doesn't look like his
hopefully
Hellfire...
he's running around in that suit.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. So this is the main cover. Here is the Gleason variant.
Really nice.
Then we have the Romero variant, and lastly the Saviuk variant with Tombstone.
Okay, and next up we've got some Star Wars books, because we have Star Wars Mandalorian number 3. So I believe this episode was called The Sin, but this is when Mando returns and gives up Grogu to get his reward, and then he definitely starts regretting it immediately. So definitely get on the series if you want it, because stores are still running out of every issue of this. We're still waiting on issue number 2, but this one we sold out of almost immediately. So add that to it. And then we have your concept art variant. And we have the Jinty variant. And then we have Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi number 5 of 5. So this is the final issue of Obi-Wan. And in this one we actually catch up to... he's been kind of reminiscing, looking through some of his journals about adventures he's been on. Well, this catches up to, he closes the journal and goes on adventure in the current timeline of the series, where some stormtroopers are in a life and death situation, and will Obi-Wan actually help them? So we have the A cover for that. We have the U variant. We have the Sprouse Choose Your Destiny variant. And then also is Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 27 with this Dooku Choose Your Destiny variant.
And then those of you who are enjoying the big blockbuster end of summer event, Avengers X-Men Eternals, I cannot...
Externals.
It's really hard to say externals. Anyway, it is issue number 4 of 6, so lots of different covers here for you to check out. Here is the main one. Then we have the Momoko variant, the Pacheco variant, the Witter Men of AXE variant, and then the Zulo Cat variant. Interesting. Catified.
I've been waiting for Marvel to go ahead and get to the anamorphic variants. It was going to happen. Okay, so this is the Manipul variant for Iron Man number 23. So don't expect Spider-Man's going to be in this. This is the Beyond Amazing Spider-Man variant series that puts him on a lot of different covers and books he's not in. But in this issue, Tony Stark is going to try to buy the Mandarin's rings off of like a black market thing where they're trying to sell them to the highest bidder. So pretty interesting. We'll see what happens with that.
And Francis Manipul, longtime DC artist, doing a cover of Marvel is pretty big.
You're right.
Then we have Venom number 10. This is the Sakura variant. And this ends the second story arc of Venom with all the craziness with Bedlam and all of that.
And then we have X-Men Red, the Nakayama Beyond Amazing Spider-Man variant.
This one's fun if you look at it because it's all the video games, so it's like really pixelated
As
it
goes
goes
back.
on.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that's going to be a
That'll
hot one.
sell out, yeah.
Okay, so this is issue number 2 of Deceased, War of the Undead Gods. Just want to remind you that this series started last week to some great fanfare, so you may want to sign up for the entire series now, as Darkseid goes up against the entire galaxy trying to spread the undead virus. This is the main cover. Here is the Kale New variant.
That's an acetate.
Ah, okay.
Another one of those.
And here is the Dan Mora variant, which of course is homage there.
Which I think is interesting. All the homages so far are just the one cover.
Yeah,
they're not doing all of them.
They're not doing all the X-Men number ones we put together. You're right. Huh.
And then we have Flashpoint Beyond number 5. This is the Zaramenko variant. Let me tell you, I read this one and it is crazy. I not to spoil anything, but just saying this and Dark Crisis have more in common than we originally thought. We've got this really cool cover with the Joker of the Flashpoint universe. And then next up we have Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 4 of 7. I read this one too. It's got a really crazy ending that's super cool. And maybe the first appearance of a new version of Batman. We'll have to wait and see if we see him pop up before then. But definitely the first time I've seen him, so we'll see about that. Then we have the Dodson variant. We have the Brett Booth variant. And then we have this special kind of bonus variant.
I'll have to ask you about that Batman right after the show.
He's on that cover. Bottom left.
I see. Okay.
And then we have Batman 127, continuing off with the new creative team and launch with issue 125. So in this issue, Failsafe is hunting the Dark Knight, leaving a trail of injured heroes behind them. So this is the cover A. Then we have the wraparound from Delato. And then we have this is the Harley 30th anniversary. Typically these have been homage covers, but I'm not sure what this would be an homage of.
I think when she's appearing on other people's books, it's different, but when she's on her own book, it's homages.
Gotcha.
Right. Okay, so this is the Burnham variant, Batman Urban Legends number 19. As with number 18, a bunch of new stories began, like you see Alfred on the cover here of the Burnham variant. One of the stories is following his exploits while Batman's off superheroing. Alfred has some murder mystery thing going on too. So this is just more of the anthology of news stories that began with last issue.
It's very Lovecraftian. I really like that's if you were to put out a book called Alfred and that was the cover, I think people would be into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have the final issue of Nubia, Queen of the Amazons, number 4. This is the Joelle Jones variant.
And then we have Poison Ivy number 4. So while she's on a road trip to kill everyone. Let's see. There's some exciting news about this issue, or this series, which was that it's being expanded, much like Swamp Thing was expanded from 12 to 16 issues. We don't know where this will be ending, but it will go beyond the original 6 it was intended to be. So this is the cover A from Jessica Fong, the Jenny Frizen cover B, the Sozomaka cover C, and the Harley Quinn 30th anniversary cover D.
Okay, so this is the Middleton variant for Sword of Azrael number 2, the new miniseries starring Azrael. And in this issue, Vengeance, daughter of Bane, is coming to get Brielle, who is under Azrael's protection. So how is that going to go? Again, this is the Middleton variant for Sword of Azrael number 2.
Then we have new Champion of Shazam, number 2 of 4. Number 1 came out a few weeks ago. And of course, this is Mary Marvel taking over the lead hero role in the family. Where in this one, she is actually coming back home. She was going off to college, but she's having to basically give up her dream school to come back and be the hero of the city, but people don't necessarily know what to think about this new Shazam in the city. And then we have the Dan Hip variant, and this one's really cool because you've got to look really close all over her sweater, but there's tons of references hidden in that.
And the
Oh, he
cute
does
magical
that, yeah.
rabbit from
Yeah.
the beginning, too.
Yeah, Dan Hip loves doing that. All right, next up we have Survival Street. This was the new indie book that dropped this week. Sort of a can't help but make the Sesame Street comparisons to Survival Street. And even though there's no trade dress, this is the cover A. And then we have the cover B from Ward.
Okay, this is the A cover to Golden Rage #2, which is a comic about an island where a lot of older women, a lot of them grandmas, are sort of trapped, and they've turned into gangs, and they're fighting one another. It's madness. Yeah, the title sort of hints at that. And they've taken in this one gang. Our main one has taken in a new member, so we're going to see how that goes. So this is the regular cover, and then we have the Samson variant for Golden Rage #2.
Issue 1 was really good.
All right. Oh,
Oh,
I thought we were on to another
no,
segment. We're not
no.
there yet.
No, because I've got Spawn issue 333. Like all of them, it doesn't really give you much of anything in the solicitations, and it's hard to find out. But thought this was a really cool Barbary cover.
And then we have some 007 for all you James Bond fans. There is a new James Bond series that just dropped this week. And here is the #2 cover C from Lee.
All right. I am sad to report that this is the final issue of Twig miniseries. It was always planned this way. I'm sure if they had made it ongoing, this would go for, 300 issues. But Twig #5 is finally here. Time to order it. This is the main cover. This is the Strom cover, who, of course, is our interior artist. Then we have the Scotty Young cover, who, of course, is the writer. And we have a Peach Momoko Insano variant.
I don't
stare
have a
at it
whole
too
lot
long.
of hope for Twig in this one.
There's no way this is going to happen to him. No way.
That's the final panel from the book. Okay, next up we have Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer #5. This is actually going to be a one-shot story written by Tarun Gronbeck, who was the writer who has done a lot with Thor and writing the current Jane Foster Thor series. It's going to be doing a story based on Frazetta's character that he would do called the Sea Witch. So really cool. This is our Hetrick A cover. And then there is a wraparound B cover, but we don't have the backside because it has boobies.
Okay, so here's where I thought we were. I thought we were at this part, but we're here now. It's time for other printings and graphic novels.
Indeed. We have Amazing Spider-Man #6, second printing. Yes. All of these are selling out every single time. I don't know how. I do know how, actually. Marvel made us put in our orders for like the first slew of these way before they were ever released. So, anyway, get yourself on this series. Second printing for #6.
There's also a second print coming out for Demon Wars, The Iron Samurai #1 with a new Peach Momoko cover. So here it is.
And then we have Edge of the Spider-Verse #1 second printing, another really big one. I always knew this was going to be big and that people would come to it late, and that's kind of what's happened. So if you've missed the first issue, you can get this one.
Another second printing. This is Detective Comics 1062 second printing with this gorgeous, like Phantom of the Opera sort of
Very
aesthetic
Sandman.
they're going for. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a good direction for them. So second printing.
All right, like a year after Image said no more reprints, they had to go back on it, and we're all glad they did, for 8 Billion Genies. That's right, issues #1, 2, and 3 are all going back to third print because people want to read it. I mean, that's what you do reprints for. People want to read it, and issue #4 is even going back to second print. So this is a runaway hit series. The spec market loves it, the readers love it, everybody loves it. Charles Soule, Ryan Brown, doing what they do best, making interesting, wild comics. So this is #1 second print.
Third print.
Third print, thank you. #1 third print. #2 third print. #3 third print. I see a little theme there. And #4 is getting a second print.
It's crazy that series just blew up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really
but because of the
strong.
right reason, because it's good.
Yeah, really strong indie titles from some of these publishers. Good to see. And then we have Something is Killing the Children 25, second printing as well. Really cool that this series has made it this far and deservingly getting a second print.
And then we've got some really cool covers for Star Wars Insider. So this is a special issue about Book of Boba Fett. We have the newsstand cover. We have the previews cover. We have the FOC Cad Bane cover. And this one that's really cool. This is the FOC
wow.
Lego variant.
They made that look awesome.
This is really cool.
Okay, so they're releasing a new Deadpool Epic Collection. This is going to be $39.99. This is going to be a lot of early Deadpool stories. So it's not going to be first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
That's been enough things. But it is going to be the 1 through 9 of his 1997 series, the annual, and a bunch of other appearances right from the, mid to late 90s Deadpool. So a whole bunch of Deadpool in this for just $39.99. Then there's also a Ghost Rider trade coming out of the brand new series. It's been running and still ongoing. The 2099 series that follows Johnny Blaze. So the first 5 issues are being collected in a graphic novel for, I think it was under $20, right? Yeah, $17.99. I like when they can keep that under 20.
Yeah.
That way, even with tax on it, you pull out that $20 bill and you can walk out with that graphic novel.
And then they are collecting Spider-Gwen. This is Spider-Gwen Unmasked. So this is actually, it's going to be $13.99. It's one of the little smaller ones, but it's really cool because it collects all of the Gwenom issues. So if you want to see the origin of the kind of her version of Venom, this is a really cool one for only $13.99.
And I can't believe this has not come out yet. This is DC Horror Presents Soul Plumber. From the guys who made the last podcast on the left. This is going to be a hardcover for $25, another one in time for Halloween season. If you like that podcast, I'll be shocked if you did not hear about this. They promoted it so much. So, yeah, get it all together in case you missed out.
All right, that's our show for this week.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you happen to need a comic shop to fulfill your comic needs, reach out to us. We'll let you know how to get started. Feel free to send us a message if you're already a regular with us, and make sure to go like us on Instagram, on YouTube already. Of course, you already subscribe. I know you do. On Whatnot, I actually have a show coming up tonight. Andy does some shows we do together on Wednesday. Basically, every single day, there's some different content from it. Just follow us everywhere, and you can sleep peacefully at night, guaranteed.
Yeah, Megan will be on Whatnot tonight at 8 p.m. selling comics, and I'll be in the background running around taking requests. So if we don't see you on our next
Andy
YouTube show,
has a show tomorrow at the local convention FarleyCon, so good luck to Andy.
Thank you.
He's sitting next to Larry Hama.
Yep.
Pretty cool. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you.